In this video, I have 30 great ideas, some practical, some productive, some smart, some just plain fun that you can do instead of spending money. So many people think they have to go out and do something and spend money in order to be entertained, but I'm here to say that is not the case. And often these things, certain ones of them, if you put them together, have compounding financial benefits. Now, not all of them. There's still a lot of fun ones. It's a very eclectic list. So pause the video when you see one that interests you and write it down. If another one doesn't interest you, leave it behind for somebody else. But before you leave the video, write down in the comments down below something that you do that you love that doesn't cost any money. Number one is to Google how to play a new card game. You probably already have a deck of cards at home. Why not learn how to play a new card game? Invite a group of friends over, have them bring a dish, and you all learn how to play a new card game together. You've got some quality bonding time. You're not having to pay anything to go out to a restaurant where you can't hear each other talk and have their waitresses keep walking by because you still haven't left yet. You're engaging your brain and you're learning a new skill. There are so many fun card games out there that you may have heard of but you haven't picked up yet. Why not pick up one, invite a few friends over? This could become a monthly get-together. Number two is to start now planning your Christmas list and the budget for each person. This is about the time when I start shopping for Christmas. I already have a list that I keep all year long. I've talked about it before in my Google Notes. I have the people that I buy for. Throughout the year, when I come up with a good idea or I hear them mention something, I will put it in those notes because I do not trust myself to remember what it is at the time when I need to do it. Now's a great time to go ahead and put this list together because the sales are coming up sooner. Go ahead and start putting your budget together and saving so that when you get to that month, you are all set and you don't have the stress of it. Number three is something we've started back on, and it's working on puzzles. We went and bought a puzzle as a family. Yes, you can get these used, but we were out and about and thought, you know what, let's pick up a puzzle. And this has become a new thing. We have our dining room table. We eat dinner at the kitchen island now because the dining room table is full of puzzle pieces that we are working on. So throughout the day, the fun thing is you will see the three of us end up there if we're off, just sporadically putting together that puzzle. It's so much fun and it's bonding time with each other. It's also wonderful at the end of the day when you get home and your brain has been working all day and it just needs to veg out on something. And rather than sitting on the couch and vegging out on TV, making your brain work and putting together a puzzle. I know, it can be really inexpensive. It doesn't have to cost a lot. Number four is to do a brain dump. I talked earlier about the Christmas list and how I forget things. Well, sometimes there are things just floating around in my brain that just need to be dumped onto a piece of paper. Dumping what you need to do onto a piece of paper helps get it out of your brain. That way you don't wake up at 2 a.m. thinking about it. You can take that list, put together an action plan to get those things done. I also recommend when you're doing the brain dump, go ahead and at least knock off one off the list. Number five is to search local neighborhood sites to see what events are coming up, even if they're 6 months away. If you know that there's going to be a Christmas parade, when is that going to happen? If you know there's going to be a Christmas market, when is that going to happen? If you know there's going to be a great fall festival, when is that going to happen? Put down on your calendar when these local events are. That way they pop up, you can be reminded of them, and you don't just sit there on a weekend and go, I don't know, I want to get out of the house, but I don't want to go spend any money. You can go somewhere local in your neighborhood, especially if you know of events already coming up. Go ahead and schedule them. Number six is to rearrange your furniture. The benefit, you start to build some more muscle because you're rearranging furniture. Be careful though, don't put your back out. Furniture sliders are the best thing. But the benefit about rearranging your furniture is you start to enjoy your house better because it feels different. I've mentioned this one before too. I remember my small bedroom growing up. Even when we moved my bed from one side of the room to the other, the dresser obviously ended up moving at the same time. It felt so amazing. I'm feeling it right now, walking in and seeing my room. I'm picturing my childhood room, and I remember the feeling of having a rearranged room. It felt brand new. So if your home is starting to feel a little bit stale, you don't really want to hang out there, rearrange your furniture. Number 7 is to get your body moving and walk around a local park or a neighborhood. Use that expensive phone with the really nice camera that you have and start taking some unique pictures of either skylines or architecture or nature. And what you can do is also learn how to edit them in really cool ways on your phone. And in some cases, you can actually sell the photos that you take if they're good quality and a site is looking for them, such as places like Shutterstock. They're always looking, they have ideas that they'll send you of list of things that they're looking for, because what people in marketing or people looking for images to help sell and put in marketing of their businesses look for images on sites like this. And perhaps there's an image of a swing under a tree that you take that looks really cool, and you can make some income from that. Number 8 is to clean out your email and unsubscribe. That's always a really great money-saving tip, is to unsubscribe from promotional emails. Also, just cleaning out your emails. Even Gmail, I remember I had a Gmail account for a very long time, and at one point they said, oh, we're going to have to get rid of your emails because there's too many in here, because I just realized I was never deleting emails. So go through and clean it up, removing that clutter, getting rid of things that you don't need there. You might actually discover something that you looked over that you actually did need. Keeping that space clear for things that come through when you do need to see them. So now, if it's something that I don't need to keep, it gets deleted immediately. Number 9 is to have your friends and family over and have a get-together. Maybe it's an anniversary or a birthday or a holiday that you want to enjoy with your friends and family. Have them bring a dish. Talked about this earlier with learning a new card game. Maybe you teach them the new card game as well, but just having them over. We recently went and did homemade ice cream at my in-laws' house for the holiday. If you've ever made homemade ice cream the way I used to make it when I was a kid, it's this wooden bucket, and there's this cylinder that goes inside that's metal, and it has a little spinny thing. Well, the kids would all have to sit on top of the bucket to keep it steady, because then you put ice around between the cylinder and the wood, and then you put rock salt so that it melts it but freezes it really instantly. So somebody has to sit on the bucket. That ended up being all of the cousins when I was smaller. It was all the kids sitting on the bucket on a towel to hold it down, and then somebody else would have to sit there and crank and turn the ice cream until it was made. And let me tell you, I forgot about the taste of homemade ice cream without all of the crap and preservatives and nonsense that you put in it when you get it at the store. Making it from pure ingredients, it is on another level. If you've never made homemade ice cream, I really recommend trying to see if you can look into it, because it is just so much tastier. But something like that, where we went to a house, we had to get together with family, we made ice cream, we made a memory. Number 10 is to pick up a new hobby from YouTube. Maybe you bought some crocheting or knitting needles and some yarn several years ago and thought you would get into it. Why not dig into it, learn some tips, learn how to do it on YouTube? There are so many tutorials, and pick up a new hobby, something to fill your time. And maybe sometimes if you get really good at it, it could be something that you turn into just a little side gig, or something you just use to make gifts. How awesome would that be? Pick up a new hobby, go on YouTube, learn something you've been interested in thinking about doing. Number 11 is to clean out your closet, then put together new outfits. This is one of my favorite things to do. Clean out your closet so you get rid of the things that you don't feel comfortable in, that don't fit quite right, that need to go. They have holes or they look really faded. And then from there, say you do this on an afternoon, take your clothes and put together different outfits. See what might go together that you hadn't worn together before. And then perhaps you could hang them on your closet door, take a quick snapshot of them, so the next time that you're getting dressed, you're looking through your photos and you look at these different outfits you've had put together, so you can look like you've got a whole new wardrobe because you're putting different things, different pieces together, and it's all because you spent an afternoon cleaning out your closet and creatively putting together outfits. Number 12 is to just get down and dirty and clean out the garage. I know many people have plenty of things in the garage that need to go, that need to be gotten rid of, and sometimes it just takes spending a day and cleaning it out. You will feel so much better after you do it. For some reason, the poor garage is where all the things that no longer get to hang out in the house get pushed out to. Well, sometimes they just need to be pushed out away from the house, not just even in the garage. Number 13 is to sit quietly and think about if there is anything you've thought about doing that you could create a side hustle, side gig, side job from. There is so many opportunities out there, and I've made a video about different side hustles. If you're looking to get a little boost in income, I'll put that video down in the description box for you to look over. But so many people are moving towards doing things just outside of their 9 to 5 as well, because costs have gotten so high, and they are trying to get that margin, the gap between their income and expenses, larger. And sometimes you can only reduce expenses so much, and it might take doing something else on the side. But so many entrepreneurs have been have done things because they've sat down and they've thought about it. And what is something that's missing in the marketplace that I could do? And they've built businesses that way. Number 14 is something you can do along with sitting quietly and thinking about the future. And it's to write down long-term, midterm, and short-term goals. And from there, back into how to get to them. I think this is one of the key things that helps people get ahead, because if you don't have a destination in mind, you're just going to be driving around aimlessly and not really doing anything in particular to get you anywhere further. Having those long-term, midterm, and short-term goals are ways to help you plan ahead, to push your purpose and what the things that you want to do. Maybe those are all centered around your purpose in life, what you feel called for. But putting them on paper and then planning, meaning backing into how to get them, is important. Number 15 is to organize your recipes and create a meal planning binder. I have a binder, and it's about like an inch thick. In it, I have copies of calendars. I have all of my recipes printed out and put into the, what do you call them? The sheet protectors. That way if they get food on them, I can easily wipe them off. I also have a list of family favorites. That way I can easily meal plan. When you put all of this together and you really want to get into meal planning, it's so easy. This is the place that I go to prepare my grocery list for the week. And then this is the place I go to pull out to make the recipes that I need. And when I'm preparing my grocery list, if I know of something I want to make, I've got my recipes right there in the same binder. Number 16 is, instead of watching TV, search out a documentary. Why not spend that time learning something? There are so many fantastic documentaries that are being made every single day, even ones that aren't getting, pushed by media or pushed on huge platforms, that really do have stories to tell us and things to teach us. And the best thing is learning from people who've already come before us, who have the wisdom, and we can see what's happened in the past, and we can have a better idea of how to handle things in the future. Or we just learn something about a topic we'd been interested in but we'd never dug into, and rather than just sitting and poring over books about it, watching a documentary that's been put together about it. Number 17 is to go through your photos, whether they're printed out or digital. Going through them and removing the ones that are duplicates, finding the best. You've got 5 shots of the family, they're all standing in the same spot. Go down to just the one that looks the best, removing ones that are old or blurry, like you can't really see what's going on, it's kind of useless, and then organizing them. Organizing these for your family. Now, those are the people who are going to cherish them when you are gone. So going through them, making them easy to sort, and maybe putting them in binders, deleting the ones off your phone that are irrelevant to you. Spend some time going through and remembering these times too. That's also what's fun about going through pictures, is that you can reminisce on times of the past. Number 18, go bake something. Baking is so much fun, especially baking from scratch. I've recently talked about how I made buttercream ice cream for the first time. Or not buttercream ice cream. I'm on the ice cream kick. Buttercream icing. I had no idea how easy it is. Let me tell you how much better it tastes than buying jarred or in the little containered icing. So much better. I make my own sourdough bread now. Baking is so much fun, and it's so rewarding, and you can feed your family from it. You can gift wonderful, delicious things to people who you love, who are maybe sick or ill, or welcome a new family member. Baking is fun, and if you make sourdough bread, it can certainly take up a lot of time. Number 19 is to spend an afternoon cleaning out the kitchen cupboards. These things get neglected. I don't know what it is about kitchen cupboards. It's the one thing, I guess because you can shut the door, shut the cabinet, and you don't have to know what's going on in there. They get neglected. Things get pushed, shoved to the very back, especially the top ones that you can't reach and you forgot they were even up there. Just spend an afternoon going through, reorganizing, getting rid of things you no longer need, rediscovering things that have long past been pushed to the back. Number 20, again, spend an afternoon making some freezer meals, especially if you've got a lot of fresh, beautiful vegetables right now. You can make a lot of wonderful soups, stews, go ahead and make some casseroles, things that you can put away for other times, maybe when school starts back and you start getting busier. It is such a great time to do an afternoon, do some meal prep, make some freezer meals. Number 21 is to go to the library. Talk about finding information. Go to the library, get a library card. And yes, there are still people going and getting library cards. We were at the library recently and people were signing up to get their library card. So it just warms my heart because there's just so many activities that they do there for free. So many things that you can go and learn, even for not just kids, but for adults, that they'll have classes and things and lectures that you can go and hear. And then obviously the books and videos. And I think you can even do some audio books that you can download. It's just a huge benefit. Number 22 is one I'm going to challenge you to, and it's to pull your last 3 months of bank statements and go through and add up how much you spent in each category. This is obviously for the people who don't normally budget or track their money. What this is going to give you an idea of is what you're actually spending, which most people have absolutely no idea if they're not tracking. They don't realize how much they are overspending. If you were to ask them what they thought they were spending and then what the actual number is, there's a drastic difference. Yes, you are going to be shocked in most cases about what you're spending, but that's okay. You can use that shock to make a positive change. Number 23 goes along with 22, and it's to calculate your net worth. This is very impactful. You may find that you're way ahead than what you thought, or you may find that you have a little bit of work to do. And what does calculating your net worth mean? It means taking your assets minus your liabilities. So, for instance, you might own a home. Let's say that home is $300,000, is worth $300,000, and you owe $100,000 on it. If that was your only asset and your only debt, then you would take 300 minus 100 and your net worth would be $200,000. Now, net worth includes things that are not liquid cash, things you can't get readily, but it's still an asset. So if you have a 401k balance or a retirement saving balance of $200,000 on top of the $200,000 in equity you have for your home, your net worth is now $400,000. Now let's say your house is worth $300,000, you owe $300,000. You have no money in retirement and you have a car loan of $50,000. Then technically, if that's it, you have no assets, your net worth is negative $50,000. Number 24, I promise, is the last one regarding money, and it is to make a budget. If you've gotten through number 22 and number 23 and you've still not made a budget, spend an afternoon, this won't cost any money, and make a budget. I use the EveryDollar app, and I know it's not available in all countries, and I've also heard people tell me that it costs money. It doesn't, unless you get the upgraded version. But the basic version that is free, that's the dog shaking in the background. Everybody say, hi, Howie. He's hanging out with me while I'm filming videos. He loves to hang out when I'm filming videos. But the thing about EveryDollar is the free version is not going to cause you any issues. There aren't really any apps that come up. You plug in your income, you plug in your expenses, you can track everything. It used to be very clunky, but it is not anymore. So if you have access to the EveryDollar app, you can use the free version. Bless you, Howie. Number 25 is to get out the board games to play with family. We love board games. We have a few board games here and we love to sit down as a family and play them. When was the last time you pulled out Monopoly or Scrabble? Games that make you sit for a long time, relax, really get into it, really work that brain and enjoy time with your family. Number 26 is one that I actually did recently, and it's to color. I don't know about you, but the cool thing about having a kid in the coloring age is I get to color again. But you don't have to have a kid in coloring age. You can go adult color. There are plenty of adult coloring books. You can go get them for very inexpensive. You can get a set of, what do you call those? Colored pencils? Yeah. But the other day I was stressed out. My daughter was coloring. I had something going on at work, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to color too. I sat down and I colored, and it releases stress. Number 27 is to go for a walk, even if it's just a 10-minute walk. There have been some studies that have done where people have gone for a 10-minute walk after each meal, and it really aids in digestion, which helps your body get things moving. Not to mention, it's just great for your overall health. So if you can get out, and it's not too hot right now, get out and go for a walk, maybe early in the morning, later in the evening when it's cooled off. It's a nice way to spend your time, look around your neighborhood, relax, think about some things, maybe figure out some answers to some questions that you had because you're going and you're not listening to anything, or you could put in an audiobook and listen to a great podcast. Number 28 is to read. We spend so much time watching TV and we forget about the benefits of reading and learning and expanding our brain, even if it's just fiction, and getting lost in a story is so much more enjoyable. Number 29 is one thing that I make a priority in my life, and it doesn't cost me any money. It actually is going to save me money in the long run, and that is exercising. So about a year ago, at the beginning of actually 2023, I had some medical issues, and then in about the middle of 2023, I started moving more. I started just doing 2-mile walks, and then I worked up to doing what's called rucking. So I carry a backpack that's weighted on my backpack, and I walk for that 2 miles with my backpack every morning. And then after that, what I've recently been taking on in the last, I'd say 2 months, is a strength training routine along with it. And I've made this a priority. So before you do anything, always check with your doctor before you add on any exercise routine. Probably already said that once, but saying it twice is probably a good idea. But for me, I use Caroline Girvan. I was introduced to her channel on YouTube, Girvan, and the Iron series. And I've been doing her strength training Iron series. I'm on my 2nd round of it now. And I have visibly seen differences in my muscle structure. It's not too hard for me. I can make it harder or less hard if I need to. I can skip certain moves that maybe I don't have a strong core that doesn't really work. I fall down if I try to do lunges right now because my stability has never been my thing. But making exercise something important in my life is something that has helped me tremendously. It doesn't cost me any money, and it certainly is a great way to spend my time. Number 30 is simply volunteering somewhere. Maybe you can do that through your church or volunteering at your local public school system to help out other people. Volunteering is a fantastic way to spend your time and actually make an impact, and you're not spending any money. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to let me know down in the comments below, what are some things that you love to do that don't cost any money? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I look forward to having you back next weekend for a new video, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead.